Hi, this is Rita Cook with ECP TV.
Hi, and I'm Julissa Martinez.
And we are doing the special coronavirus special and now today we have Paul Perry, and you are the county commissioner in Ellis County, right, Paul?
Yes, ma'am. I'm your commissioner, I think, in Precinct 3.
Okay. I don't live here. I live in Dallas County, but yes.
I thought you lived in Milford. Okay.
I actually was moving to Italy, but I didn't. But you're still an important person because you're one of the commissioners. So, and Julissa, where do you live?
Well, I live in Waxahachie, and I think you are my commissioner, Paul. Thank you for joining us today, Paul.
Yes.
So we want to talk a little bit. We want to talk a little bit about this COVID-19 and what the county is doing to keep everyone safe.
Right.
So yesterday there was a press release actually that went out that you and I talked about from Judge Little in Ellis County, and I know there was some confusion on that because I was thinking that had said sheltering in place, so let's talk about that. I don't know what the.
Let's talk about why you thought that, because I think that would actually help the public to understand why it's important for us to communicate as clearly as we can with the public. And mistakes are going to be made.
Sure.
But one thing I'm worried about is that I really want the public to understand that we are trying to deal in good faith and trying to deal we're trying to do, these are Judge Little's orders. He does not collaborate with me before he puts these orders out. We're going to get to vote on his order tomorrow because it can't extend for over 7 days without a vote, as I understand it.
Okay.
But we do have a duty, which is why when you called me, why I made a few communications to let them know that we don't need to be quoting from sidebar comments at conferences or even comments made at conferences as if they're part of an order.
Okay.
An order has a legal consequence.
Right.
It's in a written order.
Okay.
But the comment the governor made the other day was part of a larger body of comments, and in context, it did not mean that we were in a shelter-in-place order.
Situation.
In my opinion.
So what I know that the governor said yesterday that he was not going to have an executive order for shelter in place if people would comply with the rules of gathering no more than 10, not going to restaurants, and etc. So Judge Jenkins in Dallas did actually put an executive order out, shelter in place. I think some people might not even completely understand what the difference is, but I think that the press release that I read made it sound like that Ellis County was also going to shelter in place or be fined. And there was a $1,500 fine, I believe, or...
I think it was a $1,000 fine included in that press release.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul. So what was the what was the verbiage that you said was a little I don't want to say misleading, but could cause some confusion out there, Paul?
Well, it did cause some confusion, and Rita could deal with that better than I could at the moment as far as what the actual verbiage was, but it led people to believe that something the governor said at the conference about don't go out unless you have a good reason, that's my paraphrase,
Right.
is actually what was in the order, and that was not in the order. And the governor went on to say in the order, this does not apply to the following things,
Right.
and including community gatherings of 10 people or less.
Okay.
Now, he could take it up another step where we didn't even allow community meetings of 10 people or less, unless you're in a kind of a, I forget the term, but it's in a profession that is demanded for social order, which is everything from medical to transportation to government, what we do, although a lot of our departments will send everybody home or to work from home if they can.
Right.
And, at this point, it may be good policy to isolate people as much as we can into smaller groups.
Yes.
I understand the logic there. I have some constitutional concerns about how some of this is being done.
Okay.
But there's old case law, as I understand it, that sustains it from the 1900s when the Spanish flu came out.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do think we have a duty to communicate what legal status we are in at the moment,
Yes.
as well as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you called me and why I made a few communications. And, I still don't know that everybody is on board with the idea of we shouldn't be quoting comments at meetings out of context that do not match up with the actual declaration of the order if we're going to say things are coming from the order.
Okay.
Well, thank you for clarifying that up, Paul. I think where we're at right now is, we're encouraging people to practice social distancing and to limit their gatherings to 10. Anything over that is when we are putting others at risk. We may be carriers for the COVID-19, and we are maybe jeopardizing our seniors or those who are high at risk. But, I'm going to turn now, Paul, if we can, to what we can be doing as a community and coming together as a community, because I do believe it's important for us to continue to live and have a quality of life.
Yes.
So that we continue to, we're humans. We're humans. We need to go out there and support our small businesses. We need to go out there and continue to pray and worship and be entertained and educate our kids. So I want to talk about what we can be doing out there. I know we're encouraging people to see if your neighbors need anything.
Right.
Don't hoard groceries when you go to the grocery store. Just be prudent and be mindful that your neighbor and your friend across the street is in the same predicament that you are.
Yeah, and I think it's important when you're at the grocery store, if you want to buy a little extra, that
Right.
might make sense. If
Right.
there's plenty of product on the shelves. If you want to buy a lot extra, that probably doesn't make sense unless you're expecting to have to shelter family imminently.
Right.
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 And that's another.
If there's an imminent danger that you're going to have 4 family members show up that don't have a home somewhere, then I can understand buying extra. But what we're saying right now is panic buying.
Yes.
Panic buying is a consequence partially of how I think the public has been communicated with, but regardless of the fact that people may be have an unease by how they've been communicated with, it doesn't excuse it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So that's a panic buying. Think about how your neighbors may go without. And,
Right.
Right.
consider that strongly before you do that, because eventually, in this situation, and I'm not saying I approve of this, because I think when you have action, reaction, and it starts escalating, eventually somebody's got to say, I'm not going to escalate this because I'm just going to make it worse. But right now, we have this cascade of orders, and
Right.
we're being threatened with them getting tighter.
Right.
In a lot of people's minds, that means, well, I better stock up now.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And so what we need to watch is, we need to watch that, because the next thing they could do is put limits on how much you could buy.
Well, they are doing that in Dallas County for sure. They are doing that on now. So.
Right. Paul.
But I do applaud stores that want to say, in a reasonable manner, this amount of product is enough.
Yes.
Right.
That's a private action based upon private property. And if you want to say, I am AYG store or I am XYZ store, and you can only have a case of water a time in a day per member of your household or whatever, I applaud the fact that they have the right to do that. That's a private property initiative.
Exactly.
What worries me is I think you can have more and more government action
Right.
that kind of feeds the panic, even though that's exactly what you're trying to avoid. You know what I mean?
And
And we have 1 minute
that's
left
where,
too, guys.
Yeah, so I want to talk about, if you do need something, if you can, more than welcome to call 211. Call it from your phone if you need some help. There's resources out there. The community is doing a wonderful job of helping people out there. There is
That's good.
currently a coronavirus response and recovery fund,
Yes.
recovery fund by United Way. We're servicing 24 agencies. We are here for our neighbors, for our fellow families, and tomorrow I think there's a commissioners meeting out there at the historic courthouse that people can watch online, so you can hear the latest on what's going on in
that's a
your
good
county.
idea to watch that too. And we have 1 minute. We have less than a minute now, Paul. We have to wrap it up. But thank you for coming on. Do you have one quick thing to say?
One thing that we can only address what's in the agenda.
Correct.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
People look at the agenda, they'll have an idea.
All right. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining. I'm Rita Cook.
And I'm Julissa Martinez.
We are ECP TV. Thank you for watching.